Hi, everyone. Welcome to SBR Sports Picks. My name is Peter Loshak. Today is Friday, April 6th. And we are going to talk right now about the revamped main card of UFC 223 with our regular guest, Andreas Hale. I do 2 daily shows every day. People were so excited to talk about UFC 223 like 2 or 3 weeks ago that they were asking for early breakdowns of the card, asked me if I had any thoughts. And in the videos, I told them, no, I don't want to spend any time breaking down this card because, you never know who's actually going to be on the card come fight night. And I was half joking, but half serious. And oh my God, look what happened. It turned out I was totally right. I'm very happy that I didn't waste any time breaking down the main card as of 2 weeks ago, because right now that would have been mostly wasted time, right, Andreas?
Yeah, this is unprecedented. We've never seen anything like this. The Conor McGregor incident just completely revamps the majority of the entire card. Some cables are at fault for losing the main event, and then another fighter is declared the featherweight champion, steps in, and he has to be pulled out because he's deemed medically unfit to make the weight. Never seen anything like this, but I guess we still have some fights to talk about.
Yeah, I mean, did you spend any personal time breaking down the Holloway fight?
Unfortunately, I did.
You did, right? And now you feel totally ripped off, right?
Absolutely. And everything I said is held true. I felt like it was a mistake taking on 6 days' notice, but I spent time on that. I spent a little bit of time on the Ferguson
oh my God.
fight.
They have no respect for our time. They don't realize how precious our time is. They're just like, here's a fight, break it down, write your article, bam, taken off the board.
Absolutely, it's absolutely bananas. I guess because we had some time in between fights too. I had some time to look things up, but now forget about it.
Exactly. Well, I was half joking but half serious when I talked about why I usually wait very close to a fight night to break down the fights, because I don't want to waste time with on a fight that's not going to happen. And this card, I guess, is more illustrative of that than any other in recent memory. So I'm looking over what we got now. Of course, the big one, Namajunas against Joanna Jedrzejczyk, that is going to go off. And although even that was affected, right? Apparently, Namajunas was her camp was roughed up a little bit. She was shaken up emotionally, but she's going to go through with the fight. She is a tough fighter. I was leaning towards Joanna even before that happened. The line has moved in Rose's favor. Now we have seen recently when these high-profile dominant champs lose in a shocking upset, and then they get the rematch. A lot of times they do not do well, even in the rematch. We saw that with Anderson Silva. We saw that with Frankie Edgar, and we saw it with Ronda Rousey. I mean, a lot of times when they get knocked off their pedestal, it does not go well for them. Later on in subsequent fights, and I'm not sure if that's in play here. I mean, I think there are some stylistic reasons why Rose would be a good matchup. She's a much better striker and improving striker, I think, and that sort of matches up well with Joanna's Muay Thai, which is very squared up and can be is great a strategy for someone who's a gifted kicker, but can leave her vulnerable to a striker like that. The line has gotten bet down. A few days ago it was Joanna minus 140. Now it's down to a minus 114. I don't know. I think I would still be leading Joanna here, but I'm very curious to hear your thoughts on this one, Andreas Hale.
I was going to say the exact same thing. We don't know what Joanna is. If you go back and watch that fight, some people can try to call it a lucky punch, but this wasn't the Conor McGregor 13-second knockout. This was actually Rose looking very good against Joanna until she got the knockout, which was a good few minutes into the fight. So I don't know what that means heading into the rematch. Joanna said that she had a tough time making weight. She said that she kind of underestimated Rose. There's always these excuses, and we don't know how serious those excuses are. So for me personally, if you look at this fight, and the scary thing is, Rose has won 7 fights, and 6 of them by finish. And most of the women aren't prolific finishers, but Rose happens to be one of them. But it makes it a little frightening for me to take a pick here on either side because the line is really close, as it should be. I don't know where Joanna's mind's at. And now after this incident, I don't know where Rose's mind's at, because I know she's always had some issues mentally when things come into play that can affect her performance. She tends to allow them to affect her. So I don't know if this Conor McGregor situation is going to affect her. That being said, I'm staying away from either of these fighters, but I do like the over in the fight because I think both of them are going to be a little bit more cautious heading into this rematch.
Yeah, sorry. First of all, I said Frankie Edgar before. I meant to say Jose Aldo. I was thinking about something else when I said that, but yeah, Jose Aldo. Yeah, I mean, the issue is, I mean, Rose, she's giving all indications that she is actually a mentally tough person and a mentally tough fighter. All the interviews that she's done, for the last fight, that she's done for this fight, indicate that she's not one of these people to get like an inflated head, to take start taking things for granted once she becomes champion. Although I guess a little bit of that is unavoidable if you're a world-class athlete like this. My sense is just that I think the key, there's another key factor, which is that Joanna was talking about how difficult the weight cut was in her last fight. That's a factor that comes into play in a lot of fights. But apparently Joanna had numbness in her legs. She was passed out, and she just didn't want to cancel the fight. But she was in very bad physical condition before the last fight. Now she's saying that this weight cut is going to be a lot easier for her. She'll be a lot more mentally and physically prepared for this one. And it is true that in her entire career she had never been knocked down before the Rose fight. So maybe we can throw out the last fight, not because it was a fluky punch, but because Joanna was in a particularly vulnerable physical state. That's not going to be the case here.
Yeah, I don't think so. I just don't think Joanna's going to be. She looked bad in the fight. She looked sluggish. Her shots weren't getting off that well. Her head movement wasn't there. It was just a lot of things that weren't working in Joanna's favor. Not to take any credit away from Rose, because her performance was excellent. But up until that point, I figured it felt like something was wrong. And I felt like Joanna was also overcompensating with her personality that fight week. She was very brash and boastful towards Rose, and, she was looking down on her, and it felt like it was just something off with her. This fight, obviously, she's a little bit more humble. She looks to be in great shape. So with that being said, I'm just looking at this as this is going to be the fight that I thought it was going to be the first time around where it could probably go the distance.
Right.
I still can't pick a winner here, but I just think the only way you can really bet this fight is going with the over or the under, and I like the over 3.5 rounds here.
Yeah, I was thinking that as well. I was actually thinking maybe Joanna by decision might be a nice little prop to take a shot with. My sense is that my only concern, I guess, is that my analysis of this is that Joanna has pretty clearly, peaked in her career skills-wise. She does what she does very well. She has that sort of cover-up, peekaboo style that's very effective for what she does. But Rose may be improving. I mean, she was not considered to be a particularly great striker before the first fight, and her coaching is she's known to be coached by one of the most detail-oriented, one of the best coaches in the business. She talks about how she's always giving credit to her coaches, always saying that that's what all she does is just listen to what her coaches tell her to do, and she tries to execute well. So is it possible we'll see a continually improving Rose in this fight, and maybe for a few fights going forward?
Absolutely. When I first saw Rose Namajunas fight, the talent was there. It was just her trying to put it together. And it took her a little bit of time, but, she's only 10 fights into her MMA career. I believe she's only 25 years old. And again, she's a prolific finisher. So now that she's put it all together, there could be, a steeper climb. Like, she could continue to rise. And like you said, Joanna Jedrzejczyk could have plateaued. And this is where she's at. That's why I got to stay away from this, because I just really don't know. This could be a very similar situation to T.J. Dillashaw and Renan Barão, where Dillashaw came in, nobody gave him a chance. He destroyed Renan Barão the first time, and it was even worse the second time around. Nothing really changed. So it could be that situation. But again, it's just that what I'm looking at here is both of them being a little bit more cautious. Joanna, trying to control that distance a little bit better. Rose not trying to do anything foolish and rush in and get caught. So it could drag the fight out just a little bit longer. And Rose can finish late. She finished Paige Van Zandt in the 5th round. So I'm not saying Rose won't win. I'm not saying Rose won't finish, but I think it lasts over 3.5 rounds. That's the only thing I can see here that makes sense.
I was leaning that way myself. I was thinking this one might be even a shot to go the distance, which is right now -110. I'm seeing here at 5 times the fight going the distance -110, but the over 3.5 rounds at -135 is just at -135 over 3.5 rounds. That's going to be an official pick for you. Over 3.5 -135.
Yeah, it is. It is. I think, if Rose can get the finish, it might be late. This is a tough fight, man. Rematches like this are very tough with dominant champions and rising stars. This is the only thing I can see here, and that's going to be my lock.
All right. Over 3.5 rounds, -135. I am definitely agreeing with that. That is a strong lean for me. And before this video is out, I might convert it to an official pick. And I was leaning Joanna before I did some more research into this fight. And now I'm just not sure. I still feel like one way or another, Joanna comes out with a win. I'm thinking Joanna by decision might be a good bet. And then we see a huge rubber match between the two of these. And that'll be a huge, massive fight as well. So I guess I'd have a slight lean to Joanna here. very strongly to the over, and Andreas Hale has an official play on the over 3.5 rounds at minus 135, currently at 5 dimes. All right, now the rest of the card, we do have still Moicano and Kattar. That one is a featherweight fight going on. Competitive odds earlier. Kattar was minus 165 as a favorite. Let's see where he is now, all the way down to minus 115. Yeah, so big money coming in on Moicano, which is what I was thinking about. I was thinking that it was a little bit more coin flippy than the market was giving it credit for, but now that it is actually a fight with coin flip odds, not sure how I'd want to handle it. What do you think, Andreas Hale?
Same here. I mean, when I first looked at it, I was like, oh, Moicano all the way. You know, you look at it, the odds, and Kattar being a favorite was a little surprising to me. Moicano did lose to Brian Ortega, but it's Brian Ortega. I mean, we've seen what this guy's done. Moicano has beaten Jeremy Stephens, who was rolling, and, you know, he has been solid since he came into the UFC. So with a line like this, it's a little bit more narrow. There's not as much value here. This is a coin flip fight. Kattar has been excellent. He kind of grounds guys out and wins decisions here. I'm going to pass on this. I can't go one way or the other. There's just not enough value for me to bet on Moicano.
Yeah, and also this one also, to my eye at least, has fight going the distance written all over it, but the over 2.5 rounds was minus 210 earlier in the week. I was thinking about giving that as a pick. Now it's all the way up to minus 250. So, you know, it's headed up, and the fight going the distance is, let me just see what the current odds are on that one, if I can find it. Let me see. Yeah, going the distance is minus 225. I think those odds are just a little bit too steep right now. But yeah, I might have given Renato by decision earlier when he was plus 145. Now at minus 105. I think I'm gonna have to pass. And you know, I would definitely have a lean to the fight going the distance at minus 225, but I don't want to lay that line. All right, Andreas Hale, the rest of the card, we've got Lausanne now on the main card. We've got Nurmagomedov fighting Al Iaquinta at catchweight, 155 pounds. I'll just ask you an open-ended question. The rest of this crazy card, even if you want to talk about something that's interesting as far as betting value is concerned, on the preliminary card, just an open-ended question. I have no idea about anything else that's going on in this card. What do you want to say, share with us from the rest of the card of UFC 223, Andreas?
Well, there is one fight that I've been looking at very closely. It's the Carolina Kowalkiewicz and the Felice Herrig fight. It's on the prelims. I thought it was going to be on the main card after all this madness. But Kowalkiewicz has fought Joanna, fought her tough. Felice Herrig's been on the run, but I don't think Felice Herrig has a chance against Kowalkiewicz. When it comes to the striking, Kowalkiewicz is excellent. She has a phenomenal ground game. She lost to Claudia Gadelha and Joanna Jedrzejczyk, so I guess people are seeing this a little bit closer. The last time I looked, I believe Kowalkiewicz was around a minus 185, somewhere around that.
Yep, right now minus 190.
I like it. I mean, I just think she's too skilled. She's too gifted. Herrig's been on the run, but she hasn't faced anybody the quality of Kowalkiewicz. Kowalkiewicz is a top flight strawweight here, and I think she's going to do an excellent job putting on a great show and try to put her right back in the position for a title shot. And I'm going to actually make that an official pick for a lot of you guys out there that are looking for something to bet off of this card. Just take a very close look at Carolina Kowalkiewicz. She's just excellent on the ground, excellent striker. Felice Herrig's rolling, but that's going to stop here.
All right, so that's the only other pick you want to share with us. Kowalkiewicz at minus 190 currently.
Absolutely, yeah. That one, I looked at the rest of the card, and there's not a lot here that I really liked. I liked Brandon Moreno versus Ray Borg, but now that's off the card. I liked Paul Felder against Al Iaquinta, and now that's off the card too. So the rest of this card, I'm staying away from. Unfortunately, there's just too many mix-ups and everything that's going on. It's a little bit chaotic here. So those are the only things that I like on this card.
All right, so Andreas Hale giving Carolina Kowalkiewicz at minus 190 as an official play, and in the main event, Rose Namajunas against Joanna Jedrzejczyk. He likes the over 3.5 at minus 135 as an official play, and I will add that one onto my official record as well. Over 3.5 rounds, minus 135. That's how I was feeling about it anyway. I have a sneaking suspicion that this one winds up Joanna by decision, which will set up for a rubber match. Will be very, very exciting. That's just like plus 180, so I'm not sure I want to take that one. But I will take a shot with the over 3.5 rounds at minus 135 as an official play, agreeing with Andreas Hale. Andreas Hale, thanks so much. Talk again very soon for the next UFC event.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to our channel. Now, we've put a lot of work into producing all these free videos, so please help us out and keep all our content free for you forever by simply liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing. Now, not to mention, a visit to our industry-leading website will warm the hearts of all our SBR employees, especially myself. Now, the links are over there to the left, so do check those out. Thanks for watching.